weekend, man, and you saw guys really. It was a sack party. Everyone was getting in on the act. So I guess the question for you, Vance, is how much of a believer are you? Because you early a couple games ago you said, okay, I'm buying this secondary. You still have questions about the pass rush. What we have seen develop maybe over the last three or so games is I think that number 90, Mike Morris, is the best player on defense. I think that guy has shown up as a dude that is can play the run. He can play with his hand in the dirt or standing up. And when you ask him to pin his ears back, so far he's been the most consistent guy at doing it. Are you buying Mike Morris is the best player on Michigan's defense?
Close. I need to see one more game. Right now, if I had to look at the guys play, I mean, he's making some individual plays that stand out. Getting a quarterback sack, number 90 is that, and your nickelback, number 0.
Mm-hmm.
Little Mike, I'll call him Little Mike. Little Mike been balling out too, so I think those two guys are standing out. Now, I look at the secondary. I look at I think his name is Jalen Green, number 22. Javon Green. I'm sorry, he's done a good job for me. Turner's come along quite a bit too. Now, when I'm looking down, I'm looking at Penn State. I'm looking at Ohio State right now. I think we're going to be able to get pass rush on those guys. I do. I'm going to go back now to the secondary. If I am the secondary guy or an analyst for Michigan right now, I'm talking to my corners about how they play. I don't like getting in foot races. They're getting a little wide split, the receivers are, and we're giving them free releases. They hit us this past game for a 32-yard completion on Turner down the sideline because he just opened the gate and let them go. And it's 1, 2, 3, throw the football. And I think that Ohio State's receivers are better than what we saw this past weekend. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to clean up that number one. Because if I can buy time for my front to get there, boy, you got some dogs up front right now, Sam. Them boys can go. Them boys can go. I'm liking what I'm seeing. And we just got to clean up a few things. And remember the first couple of games, I talked a lot about the disguise of the secondary and linebackers. We've gotten away from that. The quarterback now is getting a good read on what we're doing by how we're playing. When we're playing man-to-man, we heavy press with heavy inside technique. When we play zone, they're starting to back off. We're starting to show some tendencies. The safeties, by their alignment, showing certain tendencies. So the first couple of ball games, the disguises were really good. Right now, we've kind of gotten away from that. Up-tempo will make you get out of disguise, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm going back to the Iowa game. We start showing some things by alignment. So we need to get back to those type of details.
Yeah, so one of the keys to improving the pass rush, you said you want to see more number 18, right? And they have gradually upped his reps, right? And I said at the Iowa game, he was in at the end of the Iowa game. I know you coaches, a lot of y'all, my guys, you put in at the end of the game. Those are the guys. Those are the ones you go, let's ride. That's who you riding with, right? And so they're riding with Iyabi Oki more. But here's the thing, Vance. I mean, guy makes a mistake, you call it out. So that wheel route that we just talked about, mm-hmm. right? Where you said, I discipline on the linebacker. Number 18 is your defensive end on that play. He got caught watching the dive on that play.
Yes, he did. Right?
So now you got to let him make mistakes like that, though. He gave up a touchdown. You got to let him make up mistakes like that, though, Vance, because at the end of the game, look at what he's able to do. Let him play through his mistakes, coach.
And well, it's like that, Sam. It's like this. You know, when guys got to think about what they got to do, say put some tape on their hand and write stuff on there. So now if I'm a defensive end, I put 3 technique. I'm a quarterback player. Shade technique. I'm a dive player. That's what I'm doing right there, Sam. So I look down there. Well, he in the B gap. I got quarterback. He in the A gap. I got dive. Man,
okay, Vance. I'm not saying mistakes are okay. But what I'm saying is he gave 18 was party to giving up a touchdown early in the game, right? Part of that is on him. Make no mistake about it. What I'm saying is let him play through that, which they did.
Yes, they did.
He's not going to make that mistake over and over again, you hope, because if he stays on the field, now look at what you get at the end of the game. You get that pass rush, and then they line him up on the same side as as number 90 Mike Morris, like you said, you give him a running start at the guard, and boom, havoc is wreaked.
Yeah, he's gonna play. If you let's say you got 60 players in the game, he's gonna get at least 30. And you're right, I'm gonna live with it because he's gonna make more plays than when he gives up. And one thing I like what they did this week compared to last week. Last week they had number 90 Morris walking around on third down. This week they had number 18 as a walking around guy. So now a lot of times when you get that type of three-man front with guys walking around, you say, well, you count that guy as a defensive lineman. But now all of a sudden, instead of number 90 being a linebacker walking around, he's on the line of scrimmage. So now you got to count somebody else. So I'm teaching my offensive line this week. Hey, 90, when they go to a three-man line, he's playing linebacker. We're going to slide the protection that way. But all of a sudden, he on the line of scrimmage. And you got the other guy walking around. So this defensive scheme is giving people problems. And I like what I'm saying. So for this game versus Ohio State, not Ohio State, but Penn State, they don't want to be on third down and long. They really don't, because we can go get somebody. Third down and 7+, you got a problem. You got a problem.
I'm telling you, the guy that I'm looking out for, I'm telling you, watch number 8, Derek Moore. You get that young fella more snaps. He got a sack in this game too. The more snaps he gets, I think that young fella, I think he has the most potential. When you talk about size and speed, the combination of, he's not the fastest guy, he's not the biggest guy in the room, but I think he maybe has the best combination of the two on the roster. He just happens to be a freshman, so a lot for him still to learn. But are you buying? Where are you on the pass rush? You told me a couple of games ago, Vance, that you confident these guys can cover. You're confident in them in the secondary. Where are you with this pass rush? It sounds like you're saying you're buying the pass rush. They're going to be able to get rush on whoever.
I'm sort of buying to it right now. I really am. Each week they've gotten better, and that's what you have to do. Each week everybody has to get better. 18 is starting to play more. He can do some things. He has great get off on the ball. So he uses his speed, and then when he gets the offensive line turning, he turns into power. So he plays with great leverage. 90 is a strong guy. He plays with great leverage. He's quicker than what you think he is. So those two guys right now, they're going to give you pass rush. I like what I'm saying with those two guys. And I'm buying it right now. I really am. And they're going to continue to get better. We need to find one more guy, though. We need one guy on the inside that can give us push. Because you don't have push inside. The guys on the outside, you can block those guys. We need a guy to push in the middle so the quarterback can't step up. And now we're going to get more sacks.
That's number 58. I know. Look, I know he had some plays. He got stood up in this game, Vance.
He was tired, is what you told me. You said he was tired, right?
Vance, I said, listen, the dude. So Mozzie, if Mozzie is getting stood up,
he's tired.
If Mozzie's playing high, he winded.
Yeah, he's tired. That's what that means.
There's no excuse. I'm not making this.
Winded is a synonym for tired. And he must have come out at halftime, didn't get enough Gatorade at halftime because they ran the inside zone. I think the second play of the third quarter, he was tired.
Well, here's what I know about Big Mozzie. He got ticked off in the game, and you saw him make some plays. So whether you said he saw some hamburgers last week.
Ooh,
so
last week.
Get ticked off and show up some hamburgers, he'd be all right, Vance. How about that?
I hope so. Be like the hamburger on Popeyes. People don't know who that is. They go, a hamburger today, give me 3 of them tomorrow. That's what he needs.
He's gonna be all right. I think he'll give you some push. I think number 55 will give you some push. Sounds like you're buying the perimeter, you buying the coverage, you buying the pass rush.